Edie Lush here in Davos. The Ordinary Club of Extraordinary Women celebrates the women that we at Hub Culture come into contact with. Why? Because in 2017, gender is still an issue.
Our photographer, Robin Hammond, went to the homes of 80 children in 8 countries and talked to them about what does it mean to be a boy in your culture? What does it mean to be a girl in your culture? What would it mean if you were somebody of the other gender? And we got amazing answers. I mean, they're funny sometimes, they're heartbreaking sometimes, but one of the big takeaways, unfortunately, is that girls all over the world, and not just in the developing world, but all over the world, still talk about their gender as limiting their opportunities. And so you've got 9-year-olds already thinking about how gender limits them.
Of course, gender was a major issue in last year's US election. I asked Laura Liswood when she thought we'd finally see a woman in the White House.
You know, I have to tell you that at the moment, I'm cautiously pessimistic. So I'm not quite sure. You know, I keep getting older, so my lifetime, you know, metric might be slipping away from me. I do think, however, that what we need is more women running for the office. You know, we need a couple of more self-indulgent female billionaires running for office.
So what lessons did the women I spoke to here in Davos have for each other? Here's what Heather McGregor had to say.
Everybody has to base their career on 2 things. One is human capital, one is social capital. Human capital is what you know. It's the degrees we have, the college degrees, the experience we have in different areas, the technical expertise we have. And your social capital is the who you know. And of course, people say, oh, well, it's terrible that it's about who you know, and it should all be about what you know. But anyone who's studied logic know that things have to be necessary and sufficient. And what you know is necessary, but it's not sufficient. But actually, who you know is necessary and also not sufficient. Just knowing people is not a great basis for a career. You have to have both. And women tend to neglect their social capital, and sometimes even neglect their human capital.
Some of the women I spoke to, of course, became extraordinary women with the help of some extraordinary men.
There are so many young women whom I know who are pursuing degrees and careers in science and engineering, who in fact talk about the influence of their fathers.
Interesting.
In terms of giving them the motivation.
Who was important? Your father was important for you.
My father was very important for me, and so in fact
so was mine, in fact, and he was an engineer.
Seema Kumar, who co-hosted the event with us, made the following pledge as a result.
One of the things that I've committed to doing is that, well, where I am today, I credit it to a lot of mentorship in my life, both men and women. And so I am ready to pay it forward, and I want to give back. And so I've committed to 12 hours of mentoring to this year, in 2017, to make sure that I give back the mentorship that I've received. And the second commitment, which has to do with my journalism background and my storytelling background, is that we don't hear enough stories. As we had our discussion at lunch today, at tea today, we don't have enough stories to tell about women in STEM, both the historical ones as well as current day women in STEM. So the only example that stands out is Marie Curie and nobody else. And so how can we pull out those stories, those pearls, and then tell those stories? So I've committed to telling stories of 12 women, both historical and current day, and what they're doing, so that we bring more awareness and create more stories of women in STEM.
And we'll be sharing some of the moments from the tea that we hosted here in Davos, so be sure to tune into that. I'm Edie Lush.